Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the E44 Vision podcast. Tonight I got myself, Hector, also known as CN6, and with me I got Jazzy.
What up?
And tonight, guys, we are going to be reviewing. We're going to be reviewing. I was going to say anticipated, but I don't know, man. I feel like I heard a lot more from the first movie, but you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But we're going to be reviewing Smile 2.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into that, guys, I'd like to remind you guys that you guys can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Make sure you follow our socials at Heat Revision Podcast or go to heatrayvisionpodcast.com. You can see all of our links through there. Make sure you follow our Discord, man. Top link in the description. But the reason why I was stuttering there, because wait a second. No, we're back up. We're finally back up on Spotify.
Yeah.
So I was like debating, like, wait.
Should I say?
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, should I wait? Can y'all listen to us on Spotify? Fuck. No, but yeah, everything's sorted out, so we're good. We're pretty much good to go. But Smile 2, man.
Yeah, man.
Holy crap! I mean, Smile. We reviewed Smile back in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
That was our first year of the.
It's
pod.
one of our first reviews, man.
Yeah, back in was that in October? Was that also in October? November?
I have no idea.
Around that
I
time?
just know it was in a year where, for me personally, it was within a year where it kind of like restored my faith in like the horror genre. If that makes sense, because before that year, man, I kind of had given up on horror movies because it just felt like it was the same like cheesy shit every film that I would see.
Yeah.
And so that year, I think we saw like 3 bangers, like Certified Banger. We saw Barbarian, we saw The Black Phone, we saw this one. I think a couple other. We saw Skinamarink, which that one was like the one was like, whoa, I love that one. But nah, man, that was a good year for horror films for me personally, because I feel like it gave that genre the life it needed again. Yeah. It felt like it was like reinvented, if that makes sense, even though it kind of wasn't. That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like for me, at least.
Like it was like the genre was like revived.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that's true. Because usually horror movies, bro, they're either like a hit or a miss, dude. I'm not gonna lie. And it's one of those things where sometimes I'm just not looking forward to horror movies, even though it's like one of my favorite genres.
Yeah.
And stuff. So yeah, seeing that in 2022, a lot of great horror movies came out. Was absolutely fucking amazing. And surprisingly, Smile 2 was also really great. You know?
Yeah.
Sorry, did I say Smile 2?
Yeah, you did.
Well, I meant Smile.
Oh, okay.
I meant the first one. I meant the first one surprisingly was really great too. I remember that's what I meant. I meant it's really great too. Not the number 2. Fuck, I'm tweaking.
No.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, wait, what the fuck did I just say? No, yeah, it was great too, as in like the other movies that came out that year. And we saw a lot of like people talking about it at the time as well, bro. Don't you remember the whole marketing shit? Where
It's funny because you always brought that up, but I never saw any of it.
Really,
I saw it for this movie. This movie, I saw it. How like they had people in like Times Square, like
for this movie.
For this,
I did not see that actually.
No, I did. They had people in like Times Square, like looking out the window, just smiling, all creepy and shit like this. But for the first one, I never saw any of it until you brought it up.
I didn't.
Yeah, I swear to God.
No, I didn't see it. I did not. No, I did not even. That's funny you say that because you didn't see it shit for the first one.
Well, yeah.
But you saw it for the second one.
Yep.
I saw shit for the first one. I did not see shit for the second one.
I know, it's funny.
But it's funny. But yeah, the first one I remember they were doing what Mario was basically saying, like hiring people to just smile at what concerts, fucking
baseball games,
and all that shit. And
it was great.
A lot of
marketing.
people a lot of people were talking about it, man. And the premise was really interesting too. That's what I guess hooked us. And we saw the movie and we thought it was great. We're like, yo, this is actually solid. And so with that being said, I mean, due to the success of that movie, hey man, it was inevitable, man. Smile 2, because the way the first movie ended, because we're assuming, guys, that if you guys are listening to this, we assume that you guys seen the first one and you guys know what happens. In the beginning of in the first movie, essentially the demon or whatever you want to call it wins.
Yeah.
And it's that I think that's another factor as to why I actually liked it, because you don't really see movies like that where the bad guy wins overall and shit.
The demon or whatever always gets fucking destroyed, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, exactly. And so I thought that was really interesting. I'm like, okay, cool. And it was definitely open for a sequel, which it was definitely open for a sequel, which we were expecting, because Smile also did really great. Like in general, a lot of people liked it, and I think in terms of money as well, I think they did pretty well. And so yeah, we got Smile 2. 2 years later?
Yeah, bro.
And that's kind of weird saying that.
Yeah, it's kind of like a full circle moment for the pod, because like it's like, damn, that was that was in our first year ever. Now we're over here recording the second one. We're probably gonna be here for because I don't know. I'm assuming this movie's gonna make money, and if it makes money, but good or bad,
Yeah.
you're bound to get a fucking third one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean, look at Terrifier, motherfucker. Like,
That's
they're
true.
not good. In my opinion, at least, the first two movies aren't good, but they made money. Because if they didn't make money, there would not be 3 Terrifier fucking movies.
That's true.
So I'm assuming, I haven't seen money numbers at all for this movie, but I'm assuming because the reviews are pretty good. The audience score and the critic score, they were pretty good. So I'm assuming it's gonna make money.
Yeah,
It's
who
being
knows?
received well. So who knows?
Yeah, and with that, we're actually we're gonna do a non-spoiler section, and then we'll warn you guys once we jump into the spoiler section. But I guess to start off, Mario, you want to take it away, man? Start off on the things that you liked, maybe disliked.
I guess the one thing I liked about this movie, the major thing, I think the thing that really impressed me the most is how they upped the ante compared to the last film. And what I mean by that is that you would think you would feel the exact same way in terms of like, okay, I know what to expect in terms of like how I'm going to feel in terms of what's at stake. If that makes sense. But no, near the end of the film, obviously I can't say it now, but near the end of the film, like a plot twist happens where you're like, oh shit, you didn't expect that, and it makes you think of what are going to be the outcomes at the end of the film. And that's where I think what really impressed me the most, because I didn't think heading into this film I was gonna leave like that, because given how the first film goes, like, you kind of can expect how the movie's gonna play out, and it does throughout the film. Like, all right, it's going through the same shit like it did in the first movie, but I did like how the stakes were raised, because I didn't think they were gonna be able to do that, if that makes sense. I mean, other besides that, I think the main actress, I don't know her name, I don't know if I've seen her in other shit. I think this is the only thing I can remember her from, but I think she did a phenomenal job.
What was her name in the movie? Wasn't it Sky Riley or something?
Sky Riley, something like that. I don't know her actual name.
I think it was Sky Riley.
Yeah, but no, I think she did a great job in this movie. I don't think there was a moment ever when I was watching it where I was just like, ooh, that's not good acting. I think no, I think she definitely carried. I think her name is Naomi Scott. That's her actor name. Not her actor name, her real name. I'm a dumbass.
Her actor name.
But no, she did a great job. I mean, I can't really think of a negative outside of, I guess I can say, like, there are some parts that are cheesy. I mean, you can see from the trailers like that she's a artist, right? All right. There are some parts where like she's singing or she's doing some dancing bullshit. It's like, all right, man, like we're kind of dragging on. It's like, come on now, like get back to the horror shit of the movie. But that's really like my only negative in this film, honestly. I don't know what you got.
And in terms of negative, I guess so. I mean, there are some traditional horror tropes in this movie. I mean, it does feel campy sometimes, a little bit cringy, right? In certain moments. I mean, I know there were some scenes where you were laughing, Mario. Yeah. I feel like you laughed quite a bit in this movie. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
There were some parts where she's crying.
I mean, I'm just saying, man. Like,
it's just funny. I'm fucked up for this, but like sometimes when people are crying, it makes me laugh.
But like, not even on those scenes. Like, there was other scenes as well where I just caught you laughing, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, all right. So yeah, clearly, there are some campy moments and such, and I guess some negatives that I do kind of have, I guess, is that they do the traditional like horror tropes in a sense where they do jump scares. There are those traditional jump scares. And I don't know. I personally just think, even though they're effective and I get what they're going for, I just think it's a little bit cheap. I kind of like the whole horror. I like the whole horror aspect where it comes naturally, where it's like, yo, what the fuck? Not the whole jump scare and shit.
Yeah.
And then positives. And even though they did have that, the jump scares, there were some scenes that were also very creepy and that created that feeling of, okay, you know what, this is actually kind of spooky, bro. Without the necessary jump scares and without the fucking music like just jumping in your face.
Yeah.
So I think, I believe in the first movie they had that too. Yeah, they had that type shit too.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made it not like super high up for me in terms of like a horror movie, because if we're gonna be honest, I mean the way they handle the horror in this movie is kind of like I've seen it before.
Yeah.
I guess what really stands out in this movie and the Smile in the first one, is the unique narrative that they kind of have. The premise of overall of what the thing is and how things work is, I think, unique. And it's like, okay, I kind of dig it. And then with this movie, they kind of took that a step further, where they lean more into psychological horror, which I personally like. Right, I'm gonna bring this up too. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Silent Hill vibes, the whole psychological horror. And I bring that up, guys, because at this time, Silent Hill 2 remake dropped, and we've been playing it because we are going to be reviewing it as well. But that's one thing I noticed with this movie is that it went more into the psychological horror aspect. And I'm trying to remember, did the first movie have that?
Dude, I was about to ask you, did they? I'm trying to remember how much they explained of the actual entity or demon, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Because I was gonna bring something up, but like I don't know if it was valid because I don't remember the first movie that well.
Well, we'll talk about that in spoilers. I don't want you to accidentally spoil shit. You might, bro. I don't know. You're unpredictable. But yeah, one thing I noticed is like the cycle. I think there was psychological horror in the first one, but I think in this one it was more prominent, and I really did enjoy how they actually did it, because there were moments where they actually got my ass. I was like, oh shit, okay, that's pretty cool. So in terms of that, the overall acting, I thought was there. Obviously, the main character we know as Sky Riley, I think she did an amazing job, especially those scenes where when they're trying to be more serious and she's trying to actually have that character moment of sadness and anger. All of those moments were well done. And I guess the only acting job that I was kind of like, not buying it was probably her friend. There were some moments with her where I was like, I thought it was just mediocre. Nothing. It wasn't up to par with her acting with Sky Riley's acting, or her name. What is it? Naomi.
Naomi. I think it's Naomi.
Either one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, the way they, I guess the way they tie into the first movie as well, I think they did a pretty good job of that, and like just kind of, they drop some hints. I don't want. The thing is, I don't want to give spoilers, but they do connect it to the first movie in a way where I think was satisfactory in my opinion. Where I was like, okay, cool, And what Mario as well said, that they do up the stakes in this movie. Like, you think, oh, what else can they do?
Yeah.
Well, they did some pretty cool shit in here, and I think they did raise up the stakes, and it's a lot. It's definitely interesting, to say the least. And that's pretty much it. I can't necessarily, and the thing is too, we should low-key watch trailers, man, of these movies, because I sometimes think like, what can I say? What I can't say? Because if we watch the trailers, we'll know exactly what we can say and what we cannot say.
I know what you mean.
Because I'm trying to think, did they ever explain like the timeline, like the time frame of when this movie takes place compared to the first one?
I don't think so. From what I remember from the trailer, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so. Actually, one thing I did want to bring up, another positive, was I think the camera work was pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it was amazing or like, oh my god, the camera was insane. Yeah. But I think for this film, I think they did a pretty good job, especially in the intro, the beginning shot, like the way it was shot and everything. I was like, hey, yo, am I watching Long Legs right now? Like, what the fuck is this? Like, I thought it was I think the intro to this film is actually a really good intro. It gets you hooked right away. I think we did see that in the trailer. The intro of this movie, I think, is really a really, really good intro, and I really did enjoy the camera work. I think it is a step above from the last film. But yeah, that was pretty much all I wanted to add in terms of another positive that I had. Because I really was impressed with the camera work. Yeah. I won't say it's amazing, but it is, for this type of film, I'm like, damn, I wasn't expecting this type of camera work. So I do have to call that out.
That's true. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I guess some things that they did really well is, I think, at least from the first movie, because it's been so long, man, I'm pretty sure there was a lot more blood and a lot more a lot more scenes that make you want to look away. Like, oh shit. Like,
not as much as Terrifier.
No,
but it's definitely there.
No, not like Terrifier. Not at all. But there are moments like that where I think it was more. I think there was just more of it compared to the first one. I can't remember.
It definitely is. I would say better from what I remember from the last movie. Outside of the last scene, I'm assuming you guys seen the first movie. It gets crazy at the end of the first film, right? Yeah. Outside of that, it was definitely more improved from my memory of the first film. But nah, man. Yeah, because that last scene, the last scene, I remember the ending of that movie, the first one, Smile 1. I remember being like, holy fuck. Mm-hmm. That shit was crazy because I wasn't expecting that.
What made you, what made you enjoy, I guess, that ending? And I guess where, in terms where the movie goes, like in the spiritual route. Because one thing I noticed with you, Mario, is that sometimes you don't fuck with that. Sometimes when they go too extraordinary, they go too extraterrestrial. They go too spiritual.
Too spiritual.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. I feel like there's moments like that, Mario, where you just funny. like even catch you just roll your eyes, you just like get annoyed. I guess what made you like that?
It just depends on how the execution of the film goes, really, bro. Because like if we take the movie what we shit on, bro. What's that movie we called?
Movie what we shit on?
The one where it's like I think it came out last year, where like the devil comes out of like the fucking. They're like in this cave, from what I remember. It's the one where they had Jesus' blood. Remember that film? Was it the Pope? No, it wasn't Pope's Exorcist. Was it?
Pope's Exorcist?
Was it that one?
I think it might have been.
But like shit like that, where it's like, bro, this movie was like so like just bad on every aspect from beginning to end, compared to Smile 1, where like it's an interesting concept, unlike that one where it's just another priest devil movie. Yeah. Two, the all around everything is just good story, acting, execution of every scene. How they were able to explain, and here's the thing, they explained it to the fact where it's like, you know, even though I know it's fake, obviously, I was like, I can buy that. I can buy that.
Okay.
That's how basically how it goes down. Because like if you pull some stupid bullshit like and put that, I'm assuming it's that movie where it's like, bro, we have a vial. We have a vial. It's like, what?
Jesus' blood.
This is Jesus. This is Christ blood, bro. Like, we're gonna kill that demon now.
I mean, okay, fine. Like, okay, I'm gonna just play. Pun intended. I'm gonna play devil's advocate, bro. And it's like, I understand what you're saying. Like, oh, Jesus' blood. Like, you can't buy that, but you could buy a spiritual looking creature looking all like thing. Fucking. I'm
saying like
Resident Evil. You could buy that.
It depends on how the execution of it of the entirety of the film goes down.
Yeah.
And in that movie, The Pope's Exorcist, that one it didn't. It was
the narrative wasn't there.
The narrative wasn't there. It was another boring ass plot. We've seen this already done before, and here we got something that in a year of just fucking great films of horror wise. I mean. It was another refreshing, like, yo, see, guys, this genre is not overdone. We just did the same bullshit, same priest, demon bullshit for so many fucking years. Here's something refreshing. And not only that, it was not just refreshing. It was actually pretty darn good, actually, like all around. Story, acting. Like I said, all the execution was there. It was there. They did it in a job. They did it in a way where I was like, you know what? Obviously, I know it's fake, but I can buy into this and I'm enjoying it. Mm-hmm. Unlike that movie where it's just like, dude, it's rinse.
I'm trying to think, is there another movie like that?
What?
That like where you're expecting something and then it turns into like more than what it is than when you thought, and then you just like lose interest, like, bruh. I'm trying to think, because the last one I can remember was Terrifier, where like you're like, whoa, what the fuck? Where they're just doing crazy shit.
Yeah. And at the end,
but like but at the time you knew it was more than what it was, but even then you still didn't enjoy it. And I guess it's just because the narrative you said, you just didn't really fuck with it.
What Terrifier?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, so you only fuck with movies that do that if the narrative's good,
or just not narrative, just execution of everything else. Like if you do everything else right, or just I'm not asking for it to be perfect. I'm like, no, it's got to be perfect in order for me. No, I'm not asking for that.
All right.
I'm asking for like just execute it right, and that's very broad because I have to make it very broad because every movie's different, bro.
Because with those movies, I've realized like with those movies, either they're a hit or they're a miss for you, bro.
Like Terrifier.
Yeah, movies that go. How to explain this? Like they expand to like extreme levels and extreme heights. I feel like those twists in movies, they're either a hit or a miss for you. Like I guess another hit was probably Barbarian, because Barbarian, if we're gonna be honest, like with Barbarian, you weren't necessarily expecting what the fuck was gonna go down.
Oh hell no!
Like we thought it was like a traditional, like a normal, like like a grounded normal movie, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We weren't expecting a whole
what actually happened.
Exactly.
To happen. Yeah,
exactly,
I know.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
like I said, bro, what I say about that movie that I love the most, I love how natural it feels.
Yeah.
And that brings me into the world. It puts me in a state of mind where I'm like, yo, I can believe anything now. And it makes me enjoy it. I fucking love that movie, man. You haven't seen Barbarian? Go watch that bitch, bro. It's fucking fire. 10 out of 10. But that movie, it didn't just execute on everything just right or good enough. It did everything perfect in my mind. Where I was like, you know what? I love it. That the plot twist in that movie, it got me. I mean, I don't know if you remember my reaction. I remember we're in the theater, bro. I get out of my seat. I'll go, oh my god.
We all reacted.
We all reacted, but I remember getting out of my seat, vividly getting out of my seat. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I'm like, that's wrong.
And I guess what's crazy is like, what the fuck were we expecting?
From
like, what the fuck were we expecting?
I mean, this is from the trailer, y'all, so no spoilers. I mean, either way, the movie's been out for years, so if you get spoiled, like, we're sorry, but, like, not sorry at the same time. I mean, from
that's Mario's words, man. Go ahead.
But, what's it called? Hey, man. It's been out, man. But, what's it called? From what I remember from the trailer, bro, I remember it being about like a kidnap movie, like because remember they go like downstairs, and I remember assuming that it was like, oh, that's where he keeps his victims, whoever's doing this. That's you know what I mean. So I thought it was gonna be like another like kind of like Black Phone, where it's like they just kidnap him, he's gonna be in his basement, whatever the fuck, and that's where all his victims are at. And then it actually turned out to be what it was, and then I just remember being like blown away by it because that was a plot that I was not expecting. If that makes sense.
And I'm glad you brought that up because Black Phone is another one where you think it's grounded, but then it takes a turn to like, whoa, what the fuck? And you actually enjoyed that one as well.
Yeah, yeah. There was a scene in that one where I was like caught off guard by a little kid's actor's performance in that, where I was like, holy shit! I'm like, I hope she keeps acting because she has a future. I don't know what the fuck she's up to, but
but
probably still acting.
Gaming. Like, I don't know what else. What else do the kids be doing, man?
I don't know.
YouTube.
That's facts. YouTube, Roblox, shit like that.
But yeah, okay. I mean, that's pretty much it that we could really say in terms of, like non-spoilers, man. Is that I do think that this was a great sequel to the first movie.
Fair.
I think it holds up to it, and everything else that we mentioned, all the good things. The bad, I guess, for me, like I said, is they do pull like the traditional horror tropes, jump scares and stuff, and I don't know, I think that's cheap. I mean, there are some campy, you know, little campy, little cringy little moments, you know, in the movie as well, that would just make you laugh when you're not supposed to, like Mario. Yeah. Mario laughed a lot in that one. But yeah, I think we can't necessarily say, we can't get into the interesting shit and the cool shit unless we jump into spoilers. But before we do that, I guess we just give our rating.
Yeah.
Mario, you go first, bro. Why not?
All right. I guess for this film, man, I mean, I'll just repeat what I said. I think it is an improvement from the first film in every aspect, in my opinion. In terms of story, the stakes, the acting, writing was good. The one thing that I think was the best improvement was the camera work. I think the first movie, from what I remember, had just very basic camera work you see in every film. But in this movie, from the very first shot, it's like, okay, you guys are taking another step forward, which I like. I like the plot twist in this movie. I think it makes sense. It makes you excited for the franchise. In terms of my negative, like I said, there just are some cringy parts where they make it like it's not supposed to be funny. Like Hector worded it perfectly. It's not supposed to be funny, but I found it funny. But other than that, man, I mean, it's true. Other than that, man, is this worth a movie ticket? We saw this in Dolby.
Yeah.
Right. Do I think it's worth a Dolby ticket? I'm gonna say no. Right.
Ooh.
Even though I do, you can tell. I think Dolby, you will get the best experience for this film, but I don't think it's worth a Dolby ticket personally. Right. Yeah. Outside the very end, at the end, I mean, it's the end credits. Can we talk about the end credits? It's not a spoiler, right?
The end credits scene?
Like legit.
It's not an end credits scene.
It's just literally it's the credits. It's a cool thing.
Sure. We could talk about.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say in the end credits scene, there's like as the credits are rolling, right? You can hear the actress because obviously she screams right in the movie, right? She laughs in this movie like creepy, like. And as the end credit scenes are rolling and shit, not end credits, just end credits. My dumbass. She like you hear that laugh, and I'm like, yo, that's cool. Like I've never really cared about the credits,
but it's also bouncing around.
It's bouncing around the theater because we're in Dolby. I'm just like, yo, that's fucking raw. I mean,
Dolby Atmos.
Yeah, Dolby Atmos, right? But regardless, I don't think it's worth the Dolby shit. Even though it does up the experience, I think it's just worth a regular ticket. So go out, and I do think you should go out and watch this movie, and it's worth spending that $12 or whatever. But what I see is animated.
I can't believe we're actually doing it. We're still doing that.
I like doing it though. When I watch this animated, honestly, yeah, because I think it would be cool to see it animated. But out of 10, man, like I said, bro, I do think this is an improvement on the first movie, and because of that, I think there was enough there to raise it up by 1. Because I gave the first movie an 8 from what I remember, so I'm giving this one a 9.
Damn.
A 9. I think it's like
a movie
a solid
9, but now we're
bro.
Adobe. That's crazy.
It's true. It's just like I just don't think there's enough there for me to warrant you guys to go out and spend an extra like $5 on a Dolby ticket.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get. I mean, I'm not gonna repeat everything I said. I'm gonna just because I was struggling with this one, man. But I think I made my final decision, man. I think I'm gonna give this an 8. An 8. It's an 8 out of 10.
So you're giving it the same as the first film.
I do think. I mean, here's the thing. Even though there are some improvements with this movie compared to the first one, it's just I don't know. I think I needed some. I think I needed more. Maybe if there weren't like those campy, like a little bit cringy moments, maybe that would have got up there for me. Maybe they kind of let go of like the traditional jump scares, or maybe a few more, or maybe a few less jump scares. Maybe, dude, I don't know. But either way, I mean, 8 is still well, in our rating, guys, an 8 is it means great. It's a great movie. It's a great horror movie, and I think it's a great sequel for sure. Definitely. If I had to choose, it's very tough, man, because the thing is, it's hard to choose between one and the other because they're both great in their own ways. Because in the first movie, we kind of get more of like an origin story of like what happened and more explanation. Whereas to this one, it's just a continuation, and it's a great continuation at that. You know, so if you enjoyed the first movie, you're definitely gonna get a kick out of this one. Yeah, for sure. It's definitely cool, especially once we get into the cool shit. And I know that our non-spoiler section might be short, and we didn't have a lot of things to say. It's just really difficult because the cool shit is in the spoilers section. So yeah, Mario gave it a 9. I'm giving it an 8. A solid movie. But with that being said, thank you all so much for listening. And now we are going to be jumping in to the spoiler sections in 3, 2, 1. All right, man.
We're in spoilers,
man. I guess let's talk about the intro then.
All right. Okay. All right. So the intro, I'm like 80% sure it's from the trailer.
Is it, dude?
The ending of that intro is for 100%. You know how they do the smile with the blood? That was for sure in the trailer. The other shit, I don't know. So basically, we pick up with the officer from the first film, guys, and
the one that because I want to get this right. It's the one that witnessed the girl dying. Right?
It's that.
Remember that house that they were in?
Yeah.
And he goes inside and like he sees the monster. Does he see the monster? No, I think us, the honest, we see it.
Yeah.
But it's him, right? It's that him. Police officer. That's
because because I was like, bro, is he in the first movie? I was watching the intro, right? Yeah. I googled the cast for the first film. And then I googled the cast for the second film, and it was the same guy. He's in both movies. And I'm just like, he's the cop. He has to be the cop, I remember, right? So it's the same cop, right? And obviously, we can assume from the first movie, y'all, that he has that demon, whatever the fuck you want to call it, in him. And we can
because he witnessed her dying.
Witnessed her dying, right? So he pulls up to this like abandoned house, right? And he sees his car pull up, right? Nice car. It's like a Ferrari or some shit, right? And he pulls up to his house that's very worn down. It's like, why is there a nice car outside of a very shitty house? Well, we can assume something, right? Obviously, some motherfucker's doing some not so good things. So he pulls up to the guy who's getting out of his car, and he pulls out a gun.
Well, we missed an important detail. When he's in the car, we see that says 6 days later.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. So he's 6 days in, and obviously you have a week, right? It was a week, right? You have 7 days before you have to pass it on.
I think so, yes.
All right. Yeah. So he has the gun to the dude's back, and he walks in.
So, and also, not only that, it's 6 days 6 days after the incidents of the first movie then.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be because after that, yeah. Okay, then I'm gonna bring up something later then. All right. Okay. So as he has the gun to the dude's back, he's like, hey, go inside the house, knock. Don't bring me fucking up or else I'm gonna shoot you in the head. So he goes into the house. You hear someone else in there, right? And it turns out these two are drug dealers, whatever the fuck. They killed a mom or whatever the hell, right? And all hell breaks loose here, basically. Like, shit goes down or whatever the fuck. And how this shit is shot is amazing. Because as he's walking up to the dude who's getting out of his car, it reminded me of Long Legs, where it's like from behind the back, but it's like as if you're walking from behind, which is why I bring up the camera work. I don't know, bro. For me, bro, I love shit like that. I don't know about you. Do you like shit like that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I was gonna say, all right, bet. But what's it called? So after that, after he confronts them or the fucking makes his presence known to the other brothers. I think they're brothers or whatever the fuck, right? He's clearly we're left to assume that he's trying to pass on the demon to people who have committed crimes, to not so good people, right? But shit goes south because as he's doing that, about to do that, he kills the brother, but he accidentally shoots the other guy who he's trying to pass on the demon to. So he dies. And we're like, what the fuck? He's fucked. There's no one here. He's dead. He can't pass it on to him. He's dead already. Turns out there was some young kid in the back, and he saw it happen. And he starts breaking down. He's like, bro, I'm so sorry. It wasn't supposed to be you. Like, blah, 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 this and that. And then I think more people pull up or whatever the fuck, right? And so he escapes through a window, and eventually that's when we get that shot from the trailer. Remember the shot where he gets run over? And then boom, he gets run over, and he dies. And that's basically the intro of the movie.
But the thing is, like, how does he?
Here's my thing. You know, we're kind of be jumping around, guys. So I do apologize for that because I have to bring it up now.
Okay.
The drug dealer that Mia or whatever the fuck her name is, Riley, whatever what's her name, the singer,
Sky Riley.
The person she gets her drugs from, the Vatican. That has to be.
It's that guy.
It's that guy, right?
It's him. It's the one that we see.
Bet. I wanted to make sure
because he was there to buy drugs.
Because I could have sworn, bro, I thought he looked different from there until we meet him again in the movie. Or am I crazy? I could have sworn he looked different. Like he looked younger, like way younger. Or am I just like imagining shit?
I don't think he looked. No, I don't think so. Because I was him. I recognized him.
All right, I just wanted to make sure, bro, because like I could have sworn I was like, wait, because when I was watching the film, like that's the same dude. I'm like.
No, yeah, it was
why do you look younger?
No, it was him because that's where the people that from the first movie were that cop and he was there. They're like drug dealers or some shit, and that's where he gets his drugs, and that's where he's able to sell the drugs to Sky Riley because they know each other.
Okay, all right. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure, but no.
But the thing that I'm kind of confused about is because we find out that guy, the one that that was there to buy the drugs and saying, yo, man, I have nothing to do with this, man. I hate him too. Like, don't kill me. And then the cop was like, fuck. Like,
I'm sorry. Like,
I didn't know no one else was in here. This wasn't meant for you, blah, blah, blah. How did it latch on to him?
Because you're confused because the other guys pull up, right?
The other guys pull up, but he also, this was kind of confusing, where he also dies by getting hit by a fucking car.
Yeah.
He doesn't kill himself.
I guess, bro. My only reasonable explanation for it is
unless we missed something. I don't know.
It has to be. No, you're good. No, that's good, bro. My only thing is that
that's good. Bro, what do you mean? That's
like that's good. Like you're like the question you posed. I'm like that's good, but because like the only thing that I can think of is because he was there when he killed the dude.
Because here's the thing. He says, "Oh, look at me," or whatever. Like he kills him, right? And then I'll look at me, and he takes off his mask. No, you have to look at me. Meaning, like, was he planning on killing himself in front of him?
I think so.
Okay, if he was planning on killing himself in front of him, and like someone else witnessed, like, oh fuck, sorry man, it wasn't supposed to be you, whatever. And then hit the other gang pull up, like the other drug dealer gang pulls up and try to kill him and shit. He runs out the back window. We see him doing that. Runs in front of the road and he gets hit by a fucking truck, and he dies from the truck. So how does it latch onto the guy that was there originally to buy the drugs? How did it latch onto him?
I feel like they explained this later in the movie.
Because that's the issue, man. Is like what the like I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. How does that work?
My only thing is that
unless we missed something, I'm telling you.
We probably did, but I'm trying to think back to what that one character said, like he got it from my brother, and he passed it on to a nurse, which he got it from a cop, and cop gave it to him, which gave it to you. That guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about like I'm trying to remember like the shit he said when they're at the bar and they're explaining everything to her.
Because the only way you can get it is if after the 7 days pass, you end up killing yourself or some shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you kill yourself, and then someone else witnesses, that's how it happens. But the guy didn't kill himself.
He was trying to run away.
He was trying to run away, and he got killed by the fucking car.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I mean, we're already jumping around.
No, we're getting
in the movie, later on in the movie, we find out that there's a way to stop it. Well, how do you stop it? Well, the person that's infected, make sure you just kill them or whatever, and they're dead with what was it? Make sure that they're dead with it, but like not by their own hands. And then that's how you stop it.
Yeah.
That's how you stop it. But that guy died not in his own hands. So doesn't that mean that the demon should have been stopped there?
That's a good question. Dude, I don't know. You got me stumped. Like, honestly, I'm trying to think of like, I can't think of, my only thing is that once he killed that guy, that's when it passed to him. That little, the dude. But like, it doesn't meet these stipulations that we know the movie has told us about.
What do you... Killed which guy? What do you mean? Who do you
What, the brother?
The police?
No, in the beginning. Yeah, the cop. When the cop killed the drug dude by accident. And
okay,
the kid
saying,
that's but I'm saying like it doesn't meet the requirements, but that's the only way I can think about it passing.
Okay, so you're saying that
even though it doesn't meet the requirements that we know, but the requirements we know in order for the demon to move on, I'm saying that even though that doesn't happen, I think that's where it happened. That's where the demon crossed over.
You're saying that the demon crossed over to the guy that was shot by the police.
No, I'm saying that after because that kid witnessed him killing him, that's when it passed over. Even though I know that's not the requirements needed in order for the demon to cross to a new person. You see what I mean? But that's like, it doesn't make any sense. But I'm like, it had to happen there, or else like the entirety of the movie don't make sense. Mm-hmm. Because if it doesn't happen there, it's like, how does this drug dealer have the
And the dude
demon?
was freaking out too. Like he shot him, and he's like, "Oh, don't die. It needs to be passed on to you. Look at me, and then he dies.
Maybe when he's looking at the kid, that's when it happens. When he's like, "I'm so sorry," like that constant eye contact. That's when.
But like, he didn't kill himself.
That's what I'm saying, bro. It doesn't meet the requirements, but like that's the only way I can think of it.
And so
happening.
here's the thing. So because of that question, because of like that, like it was just confusing. Maybe I missed something. That was like another fact, and like I said, I didn't want to mention this in the non-spoiler section. Mm-hmm. That is why this just didn't reach a 9 for me, bro. Because I'm like, I need to know what the fuck happened there, because it doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. It's like a continuity error type of thing. Like
I guess for me, it was just because because in my mind, I'm like, it had to have happened there. I don't. They never explained it, which I didn't like, but I'm like, it had to have happened there, or else the entire movie doesn't make any sense.
Is there a way, like, can we look this up somehow, bro?
I don't know. I'm assuming not. The movie literally came out yesterday or on Thursday. No way someone has the answer to that. You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
Because like it's true. Because like when does the cop pass it over to the kid or the young kid drug dealer? But I'm just like, it had to happen there, dude, or else the movie doesn't make any sense at all.
I'm gonna see if I could find it. Or something, dude. But yeah, meanwhile, you keep going with it then.
Yeah, I was about to say. So after that, man, let's see. What's another thing we can talk about? After that scene, I think that's when we finally get introduced to the main character of the story, who is the singer or whatever the fuck, right? And apparently she's coming back. She's coming back from after a gruesome accident where she was involved in a car accident that ended up killing another famous person. I don't know if it was an actor or a musician, but another famous person. And she's been rehabilitated because she was on drugs, she was on alcohol, she was addicted to all that shit, right? And she's talking about how her road to recovery, and we get some really cool shots where as she's talking about it, she's being very vague, like, oh, it was a long, difficult road. I went through my trials and tribulations, but came out.
Oh, okay. I think I found it.
Oh, you got it? Bet.
So someone says, well, these are theories. Mm-hmm. Says that Luis, that's the guy, Lewis. It was Lewis, sorry. Mm-hmm. Lewis the guy that was the one buying the drugs, the one that was friends with Sky Riley to give her drugs, that he got infected because he witnessed Joel, that's the police guy.
Yeah.
Joel killed the 2 Russians at the beginning. Joel was infected from the end of Smile 1, and he was pre-established. No, and it was pre-established that the curse can be passed on if you kill someone, which is exactly what Joel did.
Okay.
And why he apologized to Lewis, saying it wasn't meant for you.
So that was established in the first movie then.
Oh, that's right. Oh, we're idiots. I think I remember. Because in the first movie, they explain that. Where either the way to pass it on is if you just let that motherfucker just kill you or some shit, or you fucking end up what's it called, someone has to witness you killing someone. That's how it gets passed on to them.
Oh,
I think they did establish that.
So that's how it explains it.
Okay.
So I was right. It happened when
either
you
way,
killed him.
It's not a 9 for me. It's not gonna raise it up to a 9.
No. All right, but see, man, I told you, man, it's been 2 years, bro. I'm telling you.
That makes sense. Okay, so because he witnessed him kill those 2 guys,
it latched on. That's why
it latched onto him. And then unfortunately, Joel, man. Yeah, he got out the window, he got ran over, and he got killed. And I was like, fuck. What did you think of that? Do you think that was satisfactory to, like, okay, this is how the OG characters from the first movie ends? And so,
it had to, man. This movie wasn't, he had his whole movie, but not only that, what part was he going to play? It was on him. He was infected. It was already
He could have passed it, bro. I don't know.
It was already too late. He was trying to pass it on to another bad citizen over here. But if
you do pass it on to someone, and then that means you're good, though, right? You wouldn't be.
Yeah, it leaves you, it goes to him, and now that person's fucked.
I see. Okay, so anyway, that's how Lewis gets infected, because he witnessed somebody that was infected kill someone, and I guess that's just how it latches onto you. Either you witness someone killing themselves in front of you, or you witness someone that's infected kill someone, and that's how you get infected. And so that's how that happens. And then we meet this. Where were you at? Where'd you leave off? Did you introduce Sky Riley?
Basically talking about like how she was she's making her comeback after her accident or whatever the fuck. And I was gonna bring up a cool little shot where as she's like talking about her road to recovery, basically being like being nice about it, saying like downplaying it is what I'm trying to say. And as she's downplaying like her recovery, it like cuts to her pulling out her hair, like a quick shot. I don't know if you remember it, where she's like pulling out her hair, and I'm like, whoa, okay, that was very fucking cool. And so we can establish just from the scene that Riley, she's been through shit, right? Obviously, and her road to recovery wasn't as easy as she was telling the whole world. It was actually very hard on her, and she was just downplaying it to make it seem, basically doing what every celebrity has to do, is downplay everything when it comes to shit like that. But no, I liked it because obviously it plays a part in the later on in the film as to why people assume that she's just back on drugs, or you're back to using whatever the fuck you were using, right? Because it makes people not believe her. It makes her feel more alone because she's trying to tell people, but it's like, no, they're just gonna assume I'm using drugs. Why would I tell people? So that's why I like that part too, because I'm just like, it explains that shit. And later on in the film, I don't know about you.
Yeah, did you explain what the accident was?
Yeah, it was a car accident where she, her and an actor. I think it was an actor, where they were involved in a car accident and he ended up dying in that accident. Yeah,
and like we'll see in that particular event, we'll see it come throughout the movie. And I don't know, it's just one of those things that just reminds me of like Silent Hill, some like psychological horror where it takes your deepest, darkest secrets and kind of use it against you in a way. But obviously here it's with the help of a demon, or something. I don't know, like a spiritual entity or something like that. But yeah, we find so Sky Riley, she is clearly going through that traumatic event. She's about to do another world tour. And she can't perform that well because of her back hurting. She has scars and everything, so she needs some meds, man, and she can't get those meds because I think you said this already, right? Where they think that she's gonna abuse them, so they only give her her Tylenol type shit. So she's like, man, fuck, I gotta get actual painkillers. So that's where she ends up going to that drug dealer Lewis. Yeah, Lewis. Yeah, it's Lewis. I don't know. I keep on saying Luis, bro.
Yeah.
But it's Lewis. I think it's Lewis.
Let me check.
Lewis, and ends up, and that's the guy from the beginning of the intro of the movie. And that we can see him freaking out. We can see him like losing his mind, and we're just like, oh shit, dude, this is gonna get crazy. And that's where finally she ends up witnessing him kill himself with what is that, like a fucking
A plate, a gym plate,
plate.
Yeah.
He picks it up and starts smashing his fucking head in, bro.
And it was gruesome as fuck.
Yeah, dude, it was just one of those scenes where it just kept going, and you just want to
like,
look
dude,
away.
when's it
Like,
gonna
ah,
stop?
shit.
Like, bro, I get it, bro. This man is passing it on to her. Fucking hell, dude. But no, man, that scene was it had me looking away, bro. I was like, damn, bro, I'm watching fucking Smile 2 or more Terrifier 3. Like, what the fuck is this shit? I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, yeah, it was cool. So that's how they
that's how she gets infected with the demon or whatever the fuck. And so
Yes.
she freaks the fuck out because she knows, like, hey, I can't get involved in another suicide case after what I'm trying to come back from. Like, that's gonna
and
do.
because there was drugs around,
And
too.
there was drugs around.
Like, that could ruin her career.
Just no, the murder. Just kill ruins her career regardless. Fuck the drugs. You know what I mean? The drugs just make it worse.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that like they could tell, like, under investigation, like it was self-inflicted.
No, I just mean more offensive. Like, even if it wasn't her, being attached to that. Just
Would've
being
been weird.
It's like, yo, like what, like who, like this is the company
been
you surround yourself with,
Yeah.
type shit. Even though it's not your fault, like, bro, like you
would've
got to
been
fix
weird.
people in your circle, type shit.
And I actually do like that they use that, because it kind of gives, like, it kind of makes sense as to why she doesn't go to the police or like kind of seek for help. Is because, well, she already had a history with abusing alcohol, abusing drugs, and she was already crazy. So it kind of makes sense that they went with this route, because now, even though she's not crazy, people will never believe her because, well, hey man, you already had this past. So I really do enjoy that. But I guess we could talk about, I guess our favorite maybe twist or something.
I got
there's a lot of shit.
There's a lot of twists in here.
There's a lot of shit in here where you don't know what's real or not, bro.
That's facts. One got me.
Okay. You want to talk about
It's
that
the
one?
very. It's at the very end. You want to save that one for the very end?
The very end?
It's the very end one.
All right, no, we won't go there. We won't
Yeah.
go there. Let's.
I think the one that surprised me was going back to the car accident, right?
Oh yes.
So I'm trying to set it up, but I don't remember where it takes place in the film. I'm trying to remember my best. Should I just explain the scene then, like what actually goes down?
What are you trying to? What do you mean? You don't
Like
know
what
where-
actually happens in
where
the
it
car
takes-
accident? Like how they set up that scene? Because I don't remember it. Was she in an apartment? Was she just in her apartment freaking out?
I'm trying to remember. I can't remember exactly, bro. Because I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of moving parts in this movie.
Yeah, I know what I'm
There's
saying.
a lot of moving
you
parts.
gotta lock in for this movie. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
But
moving
okay, I'll
parts.
just explain the scene. So this is probably like halfway through the movie, maybe 3/4 of the way into the movie.
so.
Obviously, we just established this history that she went through a traumatic accident where she lost her another person in the car, and we're led to believe at this point that the guy drove off. That the guy
Like
drove
under the
off
influence,
because
'cause they were both under the
yeah, I'm saying they were both snorting up drugs and shit. So we're assuming they drank too, whatever the fuck. And so at this point, we have another flashback point, and we see the accident go down from beginning to end. And we see them in the car, and for some reason they're going at each other's necks. They don't like each other in this moment. They hate each other. They're saying like "fuck you," no "fuck you," no like "no, you're a crazy bitch, guy." Like everyone fucking hates you. Look at you when you fucking cry. You're fucking ugly, bro. You're so fucking. That part made me laugh. That's one of those parts where I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like that part made me laugh, man.
Yeah.
But we see that Sky's just sitting there as he's saying this shit. She's mad quiet. She's just there, dead face, like what? Like yo, way.
I'm assuming they were in a romantic relationship.
Yeah,
right?
we're led to believe that, right?
And what was his name again? Paul Hudson.
Paul, I believe so. I believe
It was just
so.
another famous person.
Yeah, another famous person. Doesn't really matter, honestly. But what's it called? As he's saying all this shit, he says like, "You're crazy. You know that you're absolutely crazy. Whatever the fuck." And Sky goes, "Oh yeah, you want to see crazy? I can show you crazy." And she ends up fucking
Grabbing the wheel,
moving it side to side, and because of that, she's the reason they drive off the road and crash. and she's the reason that dude dies. And so, but no one knows that. She played it off as like, yeah, he was under the influence, so he drove us off.
Yeah.
So she got away with. Would that be murder? That would be murder, right?
Probably.
I don't know laws
murder,
like
or like manslaughter, maybe.
Manslaughter.
Well,
because you know
it's
like,
tricky. You know, it's tricky.
Because you know your laws, bro. I don't.
Because manslaughter is when, like, your intention, like you killed a person by accident. That's manslaughter. But in here it's kind of weird because even though she was grabbing the wheel, I doubt her intentions was to kill him.
Yeah.
Because then it would also kill her.
Uh-huh.
So could it be manslaughter? Maybe. I'm not sure. That's like one of those questions where you need to fire a lawyer to like find the loopholes and see what the fuck. Yeah,
I know what you mean.
Because it is kind of confusing. Because I don't think it was murder. Like I don't think her intentions was to fucking kill him and fucking kill herself.
Yeah.
But obviously, it was her fault because he died.
Yeah.
Whether intentions or not, it was her fault.
Okay.
And I think that's that guilt, right? That guilt that really sat with her, I guess, and maybe that's why she was ripping her hair out
because she knows the truth.
Exactly.
But that was a twist I didn't get because I truly thought
it was an actual accident.
Because we've gotten other flashbacks to up until that point, and we were led to believe like, oh yeah, they're both on their drugs, bro. Like this man clearly drove off the fucking road. But now when we got that to that scene right there, I was like,
crazy.
I was like, oh, it was her. I was like, I was not expecting that whatsoever. So that was one of the plots was I like. I do. There's another one, but I don't know if you want to say one real quick or not.
Yeah, that was a good one too. I mean, let's talk about some scenes that we like. Just because I know we're not giving us full beginning to end breakdown like we usually do. That's just because, dude, there's so many moving parts that like I just forget like what happens first and what happens next. But I guess let's talk about the scene where obviously she's already infected. She's supposed to give this speech out to what was it, a foundation of young underprivileged or some shit?
Youth,
underprivileged youth or whatever. She's just give a general speech, and she's up there, you know, and she's freaking out and stuff. She's trying to call her best friend and shit, and she's up there, and she has a teleprompter and she's reading out, and the teleprompter is stuck. You're like, what? She's like, I don't know what to say, so she's winging it, and she ends up slowly losing her shit as she's talking and saying some bad, like, these are moments that made me cringe, but not because it was terrible, right? But it's supposed to make you cringe because the shit that she was saying was just bad. It was just
what was
really
when
bad.
She says like, you get us sober, luckily so am I.
No, she says no. She says like, oh, I hope everyone's having fun at the party. It's like, and she says, don't worry, I'm sober.
Oh yeah, there
and
you
it's
go.
Like, why would you say that?
Yeah.
And she said, you know, oh, music has changed my life and saved me, but hey, technically it almost killed me as well, right?
Oh yeah.
Like just shit like that, and it's like, oh no.
Like, what are you doing?
But what's really crazy is like, okay, as she lost her mind, like, okay, cool, she lost her mind a bit. Now she's kind of in control, and this is what I like about this movie as well, is it's the constant trying to gain control of your own mind and constantly losing it, like where you think you're in control but you're not. And I think that's like a really cool dynamic, because this is a perfect example here where she's like, okay, wait, all right, I'm cool, I'm in control now. She's reading the teleprompter. All right, and I'd like to announce to you guys a very special guest that needs little to no introduction, and that is Paul Hudson. And people are gasping like, whoa, what the fuck? And then she is also like, whoa, wait, what? Because Paul Hudson is the guy that died in that car crash. And I was even like, yo, what the fuck? And we see his character in the audience standing up and doing the traditional smile shit as he's walking up to her, and she's screaming, get the fuck away from me, get the fuck away. And those moments where she's yelling like that, like fire, I think it was really good acting. I really enjoyed her acting. But I thought that scene was really fucking cool. It was like, oh shit, bro.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
That's fucking kind of.
Yeah, I know.
That is kind of creepy. And then later on, she's like facing away from the stage, and the old lady that's up there.
Yeah.
The old lady that's up there is like, I think grabbed her, just check on her, like, hey, are you okay? And she thinks it's like him or whatever. So she turns around really quickly, and she ends up falling off the stage onto the table. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck?
Oh, hell no,
and like,
bro.
and like, I know those. Okay, and this is another moment where I get that it was being serious, but I thought it was just kind of funny to me. Like, oh, she's whatever.
I know what you mean.
I thought it was pretty funny. Another cool scene, I guess, creepy scene that I liked was that weird fan that weird fan that says, like,
oh yeah,
with the fucked up skin.
Yeah.
Where they're having this meet and greet. He's like, oh, can you sign for Alfredo, Love, Sky? And he just got really weird. Those traditional fans, like, I love you. We could be together. And, like, all that shit.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And she has this, she's, like, dreaming or whatever of him being in the apartment. And, like, as she's going in the hallway, her clothes are scattered, like the socks and everything, and then the last part was his underwear. And his underwear was with full of streaks, bro. And I'm not talking snap streaks.
Hell no.
I'm talking dookie streaks.
Yeah, bro. Oh my god.
I don't know if you heard me, Mario. I'm like, yo, Mario, those are your undies. I don't know if you heard me.
You're a bitch. No, hell no. I don't
know if you heard me, but I said that. I'm like, Mario, that's crazy. He got your undies. But anyway, and then this is all the clothes is just neatly placed through the hallway, and she's like, what the fuck? And she looks in the room down the hallway, and you see him just standing there in the dark, butt naked. You don't see him fully naked, but we know he's butt naked.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think we got this scene as well in the first movie, where you see that figure, and then they just automatically start running towards you.
I hate those shots. I hate shots like that in movies.
Dude,
it always gets me.
Yeah, and then so that happens, right? And she's running away to the door, and you know that feeling, oh, he's right behind me, like that suspense. I fucking like that shit. But anyway, that season, I said that season, that scene, that scene in particular, I thought was really creepy and really cool. Oh shit, like what the fuck? And I guess another cringy scene, or is there any cringy scenes that I know you had a few, but I can't remember if, like, because there were moments where you would laugh and I didn't laugh. There was a scene where I thought was kind of a little bit
there was
goofy.
I don't know. Did I find it funny? I guess it's that. I don't know when it happens in the movie. It's that scene where I think it's she's looking at herself, her younger self, but at some point, like, the eyeballs have, like, lines in them, like they're cut. You know what I'm talking about? And they're popping the fuck out. Is it the end of the movie? You know what I'm talking about? Where, like, the face is all fucked up and shit.
Oh yeah, that's at the end of the movie.
That's at the end of the movie. Well, that scene right there. At first, it was cool, but they kept going back to it, like, and would stay on it. I'm like, yo, that's kind of funny, low-key.
I thought it was creepy.
No, at first I was like, yo, that's wild. Like, that's actually insane. Like, yo, what the fuck? Like, it's creepy. But then they would stay on it. They would stay on it for like a second or two. And I'm like, okay, I get it, man.
No, you know what? The scene that I thought was kind of funny, bro, and I was like, it's one of those things where they try to make it scary and spooky, but it just doesn't work for me, at least. It just seemed like they're trying hard to make it creepy, scary, but it's not, and it's just funny. And then we saw this in the trailer. Was when the hallway scene where she wakes up and she sees, like, a group. She goes in her closet and she sees a group of people just smiling at her.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, cool, that's creepy. But the one that got me is when she was going out from her hallway. Her hallway is, like, it's a pretty decent long hallway that she has from her that it's connected to her living area, to her room. And then the walls are like mirrors. And so the group of people that are smiling at her, like, following her, there's a girl in the middle, in the center. I think she's like a ginger or something, where she's smiling like this, and, like, she has her hands out, touching the walls, and, like, they're moving with her, like, slowly. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like,
I know. I think I know.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where, like, as they're moving through the hallway, where, like, the people behind her are trying to get through, but she's, like, in a way, like, grabbing on the walls with both of her hands and her feet. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I thought it was goofy. I mean, I could play it after we finish the pod, but I thought that scene was just kind of goofy looking. I didn't think it was creepy. I was like, what the fuck? But what else? I want to say maybe, like, I know we're jumping around, but I guess we're just talking about the scenes that were just kind of creepy or whatever. When we saw the demon at the end of the movie, when we first saw the demon, I liked how it was coming out and shit, but I don't know why. I don't remember it looking that funny compared to the first one. It looked funny to me, basically, the face, bro.
I think
the face looked funny as hell.
Maybe it's because of this. I mean, I'm sure they changed it or whatever the fuck and made improvements on it or changed shit of how they presented it to us.
Yeah.
But I think it might be because, well, given how we saw it in the first movie, the setup was a lot more creepier compared to here, where it's in the middle of a concert venue. There's a bunch of fans who are smiling and excited and shit, and then she's just there. Compared to the first movie, we're in an abandoned house. It's dark.
Yeah. No, it's just like the face. I think the face design, like, was just kind of funny to me. Funny looking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because
No.
I mean, I don't know if you remember, but it looked like it just I don't know. I don't know. It just looked funny. Like the eyes really big and like wide from like far apart from each other, and it just looked goofy. I don't know how to explain it, but the premise was cool. But before we really get into that, I guess we could talk more about the like the plot twist. I mean, what's one? I guess because there's one plot twist that's like that starts from kind of relatively beginning of the movie, and then it doesn't get revealed until near the end.
Are you talking about her friend?
Yeah.
Oh, what was her name?
I forgot her. Gemma.
Gemma. There we go. So right.
Yeah, her name is Gemma.
Gemma is a friend to the main character of this show, right? And from what we're told in the beginning of the movie, they ended off on pretty rough terms, so they weren't really talking. And when she's going through all this shit, she tries to leave tries to call her, but she doesn't pick up, so she leaves a voicemail. She ends up leaving that voicemail, and she ends it, and immediately after, she calls back. And so since that moment, she would appear in the film, like periodically. She wasn't in it hella, she would just appear in it, right? And it wasn't until the end of the film where shit goes down.
And like even the mom interacted with her. No,
that's the part where it confused the shit out of me.
Well, to be fair,
to be fair,
she didn't say anything.
Yeah, I was about to say she didn't say anything in that scene. But what's it called? It wasn't until near the end of the film where shit's going crazy. She's running away from the I don't know, mental hospital or where the fuck where she was at. And she's on the way to meet up with that dude who's supposedly help her kill the demon or whatever, right? And so Gemma is like driving her to that spot, right? And as she's in the passenger seat and Gemma's driving, she gets a call, and the call is from Gemma, and we're like, Gemma's driving. Mm-hmm. How is she calling you? She picks up the phone. And she's like, hey, well, I forgot what she's saying, but she's like, hey, I just heard your voicemail or whatever. I would love to meet up or whatever the fuck. She's like, wait, you're now just calling me back? But like, weren't you hanging out with me this whole time? She's like,
didn't you
no.
stay over the night?
Yeah, didn't you stay the night? She's like, no, I did not.
See, I haven't been to your place in a year.
And at that moment, we're like, oh my god.
And that's where Sky looks to her left, the person that's driving her, and it's Gemma, but like in the smiling form. Mm-hmm. And that's where like that was like another twist where it got my ass. I'm like, oh damn,
that one got me too, bro.
But it kind of makes sense because it's like, well, we find out what happened. She's like, no, ride or die, bitch. Like I'm gonna help you. I'm like,
I was shocked. I was like, what?
Exactly. But now it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But that was another cool like little like twist right there that I wasn't really expecting. And she was meeting up with that one guy that messaged her. I thought it was like another thing in her mind where it was like a random message, like because she gets a random message saying, yo, were you at fucking Lewis's house, blah blah blah, like I know this isn't real, I can help you. And he ends up meeting with him, and then I guess he's from the first movie. His name was Maurice.
I don't remember. All we know is that he was a brother to one of the victims.
Something like that, yeah. And like he is trying to help her, like, hey, like I can help you. What we're gonna do is we're gonna
stop your heart.
Basically, the only way to stop this disease is so it doesn't pass on. So you had to die with the disease, without, I'm assuming,
no one being out there.
Yeah, like no one witnessing it or some shit. No one. You can't kill anyone. Like you have to die. Oh, that makes sense. No, now it makes sense. Yeah, you basically have to die without anyone killing you or whatever, or something like that. And once you die, you're gonna be like really cold. I'm gonna resuscitate you, and you're gonna come back to life, and you'll be good to go. And sometimes I'm like, okay, cool. It sounds like a weird plan, but I mean, I guess, right? And so all this is happening while another world tour is supposed to be happening, and. We cut back to the scene where like she finds those smiling people in her closet and shit, and like they kind of knock her out or some way, and she wakes up in that mental hospital with her mom, and her mom is like, yo, what the fuck, you have a minor concussion, don't worry, I cleared your schedule, you're gonna have a day off. And she's freaking out, mom, what the fuck, you only care about the tour, you don't care about me, blah, blah, the traditional trope, right? And then the mom responds, traditional shit, I've done everything for you, I sacrificed, blah blah blah. And at this point we're like, oh shit, there's no way. And she's looking at her mom, and her mom is once again from at this point is like possessed, and breaks the mirror and takes a mirror shard and ends up stabbing herself and stabbing her eye. And while all this is happening, Sky is in bed trying to freaking out, trying to get away from it. And as she's, I believe the demon, as she's like killing her mom, or whatever, says, look what you're doing to your mom, or whatever. And as she's running away from the door, she gains control, or as so to speak, she gains control. She's all bloodied up, and she has that mirror shard in her hand. And at this point, I'm like, no way.
Yeah, same here.
I was shocked. I'm like, no way.
I was like, yeah.
And she turns back, and at this moment, it's presumed that she is the one that killed her mom. And I'm like, there's no way this just happened, bro. This girl just, no way. And this is the part where I kind of liked it. I'm like, holy fuck, right? And so now she's like trying to get the fuck out. She's like, oh my god, I gotta get out. She sent her friend. What was her friend's name? I guess.
The other dude?
Yeah, the other guy, the other assistant or something. I forgot his name.
Just an assistant to her. Yeah.
But says she basically tells him, "Oh, I need a drink. Basically, I need a soda. Can you get me a soda so he could leave out the room?" So she sneaks out the room, puts on that sweater. As she's walking by, she's like, "All right, man, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I gotta go meet that guy that's supposedly gonna help me."
Yeah.
And says she ends up trying to walk away, but then she finds her assistant. Her assistant sees the blood. Yo, is that blood? We need a doctor here, and alerts everyone. And as the guard with the gun is pulling up, she's like, "Oh yeah, please come help me." She sneaks in and grabs the dude's gun, bro, and starts pointing the gun at everybody and starts shooting the ceiling.
Yeah.
And this is the part I'm like, yo, this is insane. She's fucked. Like, even if she survives this, she's fucked. She just committed murder. She just threatened people with guns. Yep. She goes outside. She pulls a GTA, pulls out the gun on some guy. I think on her driver or something. Yeah. And makes him get out. Takes the car, and that's where we meet Gemma. Yeah. Where Gemma's like, "I'm a ride or die, bitch. Let's go. Like, where do you want to go?" Type shit. And that's where we find out the whole plot twist with Gemma. Yeah. And so now she's finally in control, and she's going to the location where she's meeting Maurice. I think that's his name, right? Maurice. Where she's meeting Maurice, and they're at this, what was it, a Pizza Hut, they said?
Yeah, a rundown Pizza Hut.
It was a rundown Pizza Hut, and they're at this huge like meat. Morris, yeah. Morris, not Maurice. Well, is it the same thing? It's just pronounced differently?
Maybe.
Morris.
You might be right.
Morris, right? And so they're in this huge like meat locker freezer. Yep. And we're like, okay, what the fuck? And you see all this doctor equipment and shit. That's because we found out the Morris was like a
ER nurse
or something. So he has everything set up, has her changed and shit. And the typical, this is what I'm talking about. Like, they do some typical stuff where they foreshadow shit. Where, he puts cinder block in between the door frame and the door, and says, once this shit's closed, you can't open it from the inside. You have to open it from the outside. And it's like, oh, okay, she's gonna get locked in there somehow. Yeah. And so the whole thing is, we have the syringe. I'm gonna put the syringe in your jugular, and once that happens, you're gonna die for 30 seconds. But since it's super cold, you have 8 minutes. You have 8 minutes until your oxygen from your brain runs out. So minimize any permanent brain damage, and I'll bring you back to life, and we'll be good as new. Mm-hmm. And so as she's there on the fucking like on this table, freezing her ass off, and she's explaining to Morris, because Morris is like, what made you change your mind? Because originally she did not want to do this. She's pouring her guts, like her feelings and everything, right? And so Morris is like, all right, well, I'm gonna just go get something real quick, and leaves. And then that's when she starts freaking out. Oh my god, you can't leave me alone. And then we see blood dripping from the ceiling, and she looks up, and it's herself from the night where she caused the accident. Yep. And that was a cool shot. I don't know. I don't explain it. I really liked it. And she was fucking creepy looking, man.
Yeah,
and
I know.
She ends up unbuckling herself from the ceiling, and it falls on top of her. And now it's this 1v1 between both of her, both version, like herself and the other version of herself. And I thought that was really cool. Mm-hmm. And she is trying to basically say, I'm in control, bitch. The real one. Yeah. I'm in control. Takes a syringe, stabs it in her neck. And that's where we assume that things are working, because as she does that, her other side is like screaming and shit. We see everything getting blurry until finally it doesn't get blurry, and then she says, this ain't real. You're not in control. And then she looks at her hand, and the syringe was never in her hand. And I actually want to ask you this. Because after all this, we don't know what happened with Morris. Was Morris even real?
That's what I was. Nah,
or was he not?
I don't
even,
think
was
so.
he not real?
I don't think he was real, bro.
But if he wasn't real, then how come all of the medical stuff was there? All of that was, unless that wasn't real as well.
It's all not real. It's all in her head. It's all this demon playing
It's
a
just
trick on her.
super weird. And so after this, she's the demon is as her past self, the one with the fucked up leg and shit. It says, "I'm in control," and pushes her up against the wall, and then there's like doors closing in front of her. And I made this connection immediately because I turned over to him like, oh shit, it's that fucking cocoon thing from when she was practicing her world tour. Like she's inside this cocoon and she like breaks free and she's there. And we're like, no way, is this not real? That's what I was making the connection. I'm like, this ain't real. And sure enough, the cocoon thing opens. She steps outside. She's on stage. Damn. She sees her assistant. She sees her mom, where we thought she was dead. And at this point, I'm thinking, oh my god, either all this crazy shit that she's done is not real, or this is just one of the things where it's also not real.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I was just on the fence. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what is real? What is not?
Yep.
And probably the coolest part in the movie, man, is she's on stage. And she sees everyone. She's like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? She sees her mom. She sees her assistant. And most importantly of all, she sees herself in front of her. And we're like, oh, shit. Okay, what the fuck is going on? And from the scars that she had from her car accident, she has one down her stomach. The demon is obviously herself, ends up opening her scars. And like guts are spilling out, and like the demon itself, I was kind of gnarly. The demon itself is coming out of her, and it's a cool shot, really fucking cool. We see her top half like fold down and shit, kind of like in the first movie where they do remember the girl where she goes up front of the car or like the side of the car. And then her head just fucking twists.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
They showed that in the trailer, bro. I wish they didn't, man. Because when that was happening, I already knew that it was gonna happen. I'm like, But anyway, it was a cool shot. Anyways, that happens in this movie with her. Her top half ends up flopping over as the demon is coming out, and we see what we saw in the first movie. Yeah. The demon opening her fucking mouth, ripping her jaw, ripping everything, and just crawling inside of her. And so I'm thinking, oh no, is this real or not? Well, this is what's fucking crazy, is that it was, because as she was choking, as this demon was crawling inside of her, from the real world perspective, she's just laying on the stage floor, just choking. And people are shocked. People are like, whoa, what the fuck? And I said this tomorrow, I'm like, no way. That means everyone else is going to get infected. So she ends up waking up with her smile on her face on the Jumbotron. Everybody's watching her. And it sucks that they didn't show this part. I wish we saw this. But they put the camera to the audience and everyone's quiet. And at this point, as she stood up and smiling, everybody was cheering because like, oh, she's okay, whatever. They put the camera to the audience and we just hear like banging on the microphone to her face. And we're like, oh no, she's fucking killing herself. And people are screaming, people are yelling until it finally cuts over to Sky Riley, and she falls to the ground onto the stage floor with the microphone lodged into her eye socket, and we just assume she's dead. And everybody's screaming, everyone's freaking out, the mother, assistant, everybody's freaking out, and that's how the movie ends. And this is where, before that happened, I was like, no way. Does that mean that everyone there in that stadium and whoever was watching live is now infected? Because the thing is, if you witness the person killing themselves in front of you, you get infected. So, and I remember in the movie when Morris was talking about it, he was explaining it like a disease, like an infection disease that just spreads. And that I made the connection is like, oh no, this is going even crazier. That means that everyone in the stadium might be infected. And how the fuck are they going to pull that off? Or how is that going to happen? And what, Smile 3, a global pandemic of thousands of people killing themselves. Like, imagine that shit.
What would they call it? The smile disease?
I don't know.
Oh, that's some bullshit.
Smiley face. I don't know.
More and more cases of smiley faces are popping up.
Smileys.
Hell no.
Or do they just call them smileys?
Smileys.
Like, and they treat it as like an infected horde. Like,
yeah.
It's more smileys.
Doctors can't explain why people are getting infected with smileys. But all we know is now.
No, but that's what and that's what makes
the stakes so higher.
That entire scene of her, ever since, at least I made the connection. Ever since she was in her apartment trying to run away, and where she sees the group of people of like with smiley faces and stuff. I said smiley faces with smiles. Ever since then, where she got knocked out, all that's been fake. All of that has been in her head.
Yeah.
So from there to the hospital, to her killing her mom, to with the whole Gemma, the whole Morris situation, all of that was just in her head.
Yeah, bro.
And she was actually going through with the world tour, and she killed herself in front of the world tour, in front of people, and it's at us as the audience. Not only were we like shocked, was like, oh no way, it's a crazy plot twist, all psychological horror type shit. But does that mean that everyone who witnessed that is also infected? Well, now instead of one demon, is it multiple demons? And is it gonna spread till everyone's dead or some shit? I don't know, man. It's some crazy shit. What do you think, man? What do you think, Mario?
It's tough because like now you're setting yourself up in a bit of a writer's corner, because like, how are you gonna get out of this? How are you gonna? Is everybody explained? Is there only one person in the audience that gets affected? Which if they were to do that, I feel like that'd be kind of lame. But
I feel like what makes it cool is the potential that, oh shit, based on the rules that you guys made, that means everyone's infected.
It has to go by,
because they never explained that. They never explained what if multiple people, more than one person witnessed that. They never explained that.
Maybe we find that out in Smile 3, and then
for sure,
and then there's a Smile 4. Dumbass.
I don't know, because how can you top Smile 3 if everybody's infected?
I know, that's true. But I don't know. It's something that has to be explained in the third movie, because this is obviously setting up a third movie.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
For sure.
So it's tough, because I think I'm more leaning towards the fact that everyone in that audience who witnessed that is infected, but then that becomes a challenge, because then like, okay, we're clearly not going to follow everybody in that audience. We would only have to follow one person. Maybe watch they pull some bullshit where like she makes eye contact with one person in the audience, and that person's infected. What if they do that? Would that be lame? And that's their way out of it.
Oh, you have to make eye contact.
But like we didn't see it in this shot in this movie, but in Smile 3, right before she kills herself, she looks at somebody, a fan in the audience, and makes eye contact and says, "I'm sorry." Like she mouths it, "I'm sorry." I swear to God.
I kind of hope
that's some Hollywood shit right there. They would do to just like, hey, we need a reason for 3.
That's true, bro. But I don't know. I kind of like that the stakes are so high that that now there's potential of this infection, quote unquote, to be spread to multiple people, and I think that's a really interesting concept that I think they should definitely tackle, man, and actually give it a shot. Because it's definitely unique, it's definitely interesting, and once again, the villain of the movie has won, and you don't see that very often. And so it just makes you think, well, okay, does that mean in the third movie will it be a trilogy where the demon always wins and basically everybody is now consumed? That'd be interesting as well. Or will it do like a superhero, not literally a superhero, but like a hero that ends up stopping it? But how can you stop that? How can you stop a multi-infection of like this where everyone is infected, everyone's killing themselves? There's no way. It's just gonna be another post-apocalyptic bullshit where you just anybody you see, whatever, you gotta get the fuck away from. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's really interesting, but hard. I do see what you're saying. Can they go that route about the oh, you didn't see this in this movie, but what really happened was she looked at eye contact with this person, and
that would be lame.
I don't know if I'd like that.
That's what I'm saying. I think it would be lame.
I think I like that the stakes were so high in this one, where it's like, oh shit, you're just left with a theory of everyone's infected. I think that's like what nailed it for me.
I know what
you mean. And the little well, not little, the big plot twist of her killing her mom and fucking Morris and everything, and like all being in her head. Like I thought that was fucking dope.
No, I like that. That was my favorite plot, because I did not see that coming. I thought that whole concert shit, I thought that was an illusion.
Yeah, I was still on the fence. I'm like, I was like, what the fuck? What is this? Is this real or not? I'm not sure.
No, it didn't hit me like, oh my god, this is actually really happening. When she woke up on the stage and we saw like her mom there, I'm like, oh my god, this is actually happening.
That was crazy. Yeah,
yeah,
that was
dude.
Cool, yeah.
It was perfect setup and I think perfect execution on their end. The way they were able to pull that off because it's easy to mess something up, easy to fuck up something like that, but they managed to actually execute on it and well. Yeah. In my opinion. So it's just cool because it clearly sets up another movie where, okay, in my opinion, if they do make another movie, I don't know how you make a fourth out of it. I'm assuming they're not. They're setting up a finale. I'm hoping it's a finale where they expand on the demon more.
Yeah.
Like his lore. And they expand on terms of how to handle him. I don't want it to be another one where, like, okay, it's another guy infected. Let's go through it again. But there's some, we'll go about it like this.
Would you want... Okay, for the third movie, let's say it's the final movie, right? Because trilogies, right?
Yeah.
Would you want the demon to win? Like, it's just that, hey, no one wins? Or would you actually want there to be a solution where people know what's going on and then they manage to just create... They just manage to find a solution and stop the demon once and for all. And stop everyone from being infected.
Fuck. I think...
Because if we are going with the route of everyone's infected, bro, like, I'm going to be real. How can you stop that?
Yeah, I know.
Like, it's super hard to stop, like, yourself, right, in one chain, like, one person from going through it. How are you going to stop a stadium full of thousands of people?
I would have... Here's how I wanted to go down. I would ultimately want him to win, but I would want there to be... Because I feel like in both films, there wasn't really never a shot in terms of actually stopping him. I would like there to be where in this final movie, if it were to be the final movie, where the people, whoever is infected, they actually have a legitimate shot to stop him, but ultimately they fail. And that's how how it ends. Like, hey, they had a shot, they could have ended, but they fortunately came up short. I think that would be really cool to see.
That would be cool.
Because in this one, Smile 2, there was legitimately, these guys had no shot. It was doomed from the get-go. They were fucked from the beginning of the movie. They were fucked. You know?
And I think I was expecting, with this movie, at least I was expecting like a solution, like them trying and shit. Because the first movie, we didn't get that. Well, they did try, but they failed. So my thing is like, oh, are they actually going to try and actually maybe succeed? I was expecting that. But no, man. It just... They didn't.
That's why, that's what I'm saying. I think I would appreciate that.
Yeah,
that if there would be a solution to it, but they come up short.
Yeah.
And what that solution would actually be.
Well, okay, but kind of like this movie, because kind of this movie, it was almost like a solution of us being built up, and that they were actually gonna follow through with it, but
ended up being an illusion, all of it.
Exactly. So I mean, technically, I mean that is.
Or maybe like, what if we don't follow people that are infected? What if we follow people? Oh my God. What if we follow people that are just trying to stop it? That'd be funny.
I think, man, we're gonna just what if we don't follow the people that are infected, but we follow the demon itself on some like in violent nature type shit. I thought that's what you were gonna say. I'm like, what?
No,
follow the demon?
I don't know how that would work. We only see that motherfucker at the end.
Like, what are we gonna do? Like,
but that would be kind of interesting. But I don't know if that would work.
Yeah.
No.
Well, point is, man, I do think it's a great sequel, man. Yeah. Compared to, it's a great sequel for the first movie, man, for sure, definitely. But I mean, I don't think there's anything else that we can pretty much say, man. And I think we said everything that we wanted to say. All the scenes that we really fuck with, even the cool little plot twist. So with that being said, what do you guys think of Smile 2? Let us know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.
Peace.